Wow.
Okay, look, it depends, I guess, on what the task of the speech and the trip was. I mean, essentially, wouldn't it be to win the confidence and make a good impression with the US administration?
Well, sure. I mean, that's appreciated that you have to flatter your hosts. But, there was only about 20% of the audience were actually ridgy-dig members of the Parliament.
And that's often the way it is. In fact, I checked on the AAP report of John Howard's speech, and it was 75% were made up of others, non-politicians.
But you can respect and flatter your host without being fawning and grovelling and, quite frankly, sickening. I found it... I was embarrassed by it. I just couldn't believe it.
Malcolm, how do you think it would have played back home?
I don't think there would have been any interest in it at all. Probably a lot of people stunned, as I was, that someone could celebrate the capacity for innovation that America has and then break into tears. I mean, I'd hate to see her addressing an American disaster. Man in the moon, putting a man on the moon, was a great moment in Australian in world history, and then she was bursting into tears.
It's so strange and overreaction. She's clearly been stung by this thing about her being cold and unemotional. She didn't cry in front of the Black Saturday victims. She didn't cry in front of the Queensland flood victims. But she does cry when she remembers some man walking on the moon.
I think it'd be partly being caught up in the moment too, because it's a buzz for any Australian leader. Both Bob Hawke, John Howard and now Julia Gillard all describe that event as the highlight, up until that point, the highlight of their political careers.
So she wasn't crying for the man on the moon, she was crying for the excitement of being there, is that what you're saying?
Well, John Barnett, the Speaker, was sitting behind her. He was bursting into tears.
He was wiping and brushing away
into tears if you asked him the time.
But, so what you say, basically the whole object of the exercise was to ingratiate herself with her hosts.
No, I think to make an impression in the United States.
Sure, but there was barely a mention in the press over there. I mean, her trip went completely unnoticed.
But now you're arguing a different point. That's about the wider American community as opposed to the administration.
The point that both of you, I think, are coming to, really, is that when you make a speech like that, your audience is in America. They don't care. They don't even broadcast it. Most of the politicians out there, your audience really, you must remember, is back home. And what you're saying is that message then was pitched very badly.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
I think we'll find out when Kim Beazley, whether it improves his access to the various people that he should see on behalf of Australia. We'll wait and see.